we can be used to it, but it's not okay for us to be used to it.
Living without power since storms hit some 10 days ago.
It's not okay for us to continually be in survival mode.
As summer ends, COVID-19 activity is increasing across the U.S. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimate that COVID-19 transmission is rising nationwide, including North Carolina. Dr. David Wohl, an infectious disease specialist with UNC Health, tells NCN News.
Year after year, we see two big spikes. One is towards the end of summer, and the other, of course, is the winter time during the holidays. So both of those times are where we see many more people getting sick with COVID-19.
You're listening to NCN News.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. The Fayetteville Fire Department says the Special Olympics Committee wants to invite you, your family, and friends to join them for the first motorcycle ride benefiting the Special Olympics of North Carolina. It is Saturday, September 12th. Whether you ride every weekend or you've just been looking for an excuse to get the bike out, it is a great opportunity to enjoy a ride while supporting the athletes of the Special Olympics of North Carolina. Registration is 9 until 10 o'clock in the morning. Kickstands are up at 10:30 a.m. The start and finish line is Fort Bragg, Harley-Davidson. Check out the North Street Park Splash Pad ribbon cutting. This is today, 10 o'clock in the morning on August 21st. Bring the whole family out for some fun in the sun as we celebrate this new community space. Pack your sunscreen and chairs for a fun, sun-filled morning in the park. Again, the ceremony begins at 10 o'clock this morning. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monticelli.
Good Friday morning. We start your day with mostly cloudy skies and temperatures in the 70s. We'll keep that increased cloud cover throughout the day, and showers and storms are likely by later today. Highs will reach the upper 80s to around 90 degrees. Some localized flooding and wind damage can be ruled out. Then more storms are possible through early tonight, and then some patchy fog into Saturday morning. Temperatures drop to the upper 60s to around 70. We'll reach the mid to upper 80s Saturday. I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the NCN Weather Center.
This edition of your local news and weather is brought to you by Fayetteville PWC.
Ladies, it's your time to shine. Join Faith Tabernacle Christian Center for a weekend of ministry, fellowship, and fun during our Sisters Retreat 2026 in Myrtle Beach, October 2nd through 4th, hosted by Pastor Denise Goings. This wonderful retreat will take place in Myrtle Beach and will include transportation by a chartered coach to and from Myrtle Beach, 2-night stay at a luxurious oceanfront property, 2 meals, several life-changing seminars and workshops throughout the weekend by Pastor Denise Goings and others. T-shirts, door prizes, and much more. All this for the early bird rate of just $300 per person. In a double bedroom with a 2 or 3 bedroom condo, a deposit of at least $75 is needed to register. Registration is open until September 20th, but space is limited. So go online and register now. Don't miss this opportunity to get away and fellowship during this life-changing weekend for ladies only. To register, call 910-865-5252 or visit us online at ftccenter.org.
You ever notice how most helpful information always seems to show up just a little too late? Like, oh, the deadline was yesterday. Or,
you know you could have saved money if you'd done that earlier.
Timing matters. With smart timing, you can lower your energy costs by running appliances like washers, dryers, and dishwashers outside of peak hours. And by adjusting your thermostat just a few degrees higher between 3 and 6 in the afternoon, you can save even more. It's a simple shift that helps reduce strain on the energy grid, supports a more sustainable future, and keeps power reliable for everyone in our community. Because at Fayetteville PWC, we're committed to being environmentally responsible, dependable, and deeply invested in the place we all call home. Timing matters, and smart timing means savings. Learn more at startsaving@faypwc.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
I'm Charles Evans, candidate for Cumberland County Commissioner at Large. As your public servant, it will be my responsibility to work for the betterment of our community for each citizen of this great county. As your past county commissioner at large, I have done just that and will continue to put each of our citizens first. I'm Charles Evans, asking for your support as your Cumberland County Commissioner at Large. Together, let's build a county we love calling home.
Paid for by the committee to elect Charles Evans.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show on the Widu Radio Network, WIDU 1600 AM and 99.7 FM. We're glad you're with us. Sit back and stay tuned and enjoy today's program. And here's your host for today. The entire Widu Radio Network family would like to take this opportune time to pause and to honor and to salute our very own Pastor Troy A. Williams. Happy birthday, true man of God. We love you. We appreciate you. Keep being the great, amazing, wonderful God that you are. We wish you many more wonderful celebration and returns. Happy birthday, Pastor Troy A. Williams. If you see him out and about, be sure to wish him a very special happy birthday.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Oh man, she got me that time, partner. I'm sitting there and she blasted me on my birthday, but I appreciate that. 71 years old, man. So look, I can't wait until DL turns at least 60. I can't wait. I want that to happen so bad. I mean, good morning. We got, on this Friday, back to the morning show, we have Jay and DL. They're both online. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Good morning, gentlemen.
So Jay was last right here. I have this friend. He turned 86 a couple weeks ago. And I used to work for him. And, I was younger. I used to give him a hard time. I said, oh, man, da-da-da-da-da. And, man, karma works, reciprocity. So now I got to take this from DL, and so I remember him telling me, I can't wait until you get to be an old man, and I can't wait. I want God to have me on the planet at least until DL turns 60. That's what I want. That's what I want. 60, 61.
We got 3 more years. That's it. 3 more years. Oh, you're almost there. Almost in the 60-year club. Very good.
But look, if the Lord allowed me to see him turn 70, I would be doing cartwheels then, for real.
I mean, you'd be 84, 85.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I might make it, I don't know. I hope I do, but I might make it. Look, guys, we got a lot of things to talk about today, but I do want to just move up. So one score I didn't see, but I keep looking for that. And that was the Terry Sanford Cape Fear game. I don't see that score yet. But I do want to run through some other scores. for some football games that we had on last night. And so, you know, some of these first games, man, can just get crazy. But even this stuff, some of it's inside of, you know, Cumberland County, the city of Fayetteville. Douglasbury 0, Cape Fear 50.
Whoa,
Wow.
that's close. That's close.
For real. Fairmont 32, Lumberton 31. You know, that's one of our sister stations. I want to make mention of them. Grace Creek 19, Pine Forest 29. Hillside bested E.E. Smith, and the games that I'm calling, the first team is always the away team, and the last score is the home team. Hillside 30, E.E. Smith 22.
Hillside, Durham.
Right. Let me see. I'm writing too fast, but Hope County did lose to Monroe, and Jack Britt bested Southview 22-17. So, high school football was back, and, you know, we need to get out there and support those youngsters. And, you know, hey, look, this is a grand time, sir. But anyway, we got a couple things on that calendar this morning, and we want to go ahead and move forward with that. I'll let DL dive off into this, deep dive off into this first one here. Talk to me, DL.
Okay, gentlemen and audience out there, we're going to talk about the National Association for Black Journalists, better known as NABJ. Last weekend, they had their banquet or association gatherings they do on a yearly basis, and they do a thumbs down award. I don't know if they do a thumbs up, but the thumbs down, some of the recipients were CBS News, Washington Post, and Stephen A. Smith. And after that happened, Stephen A. was incensed. He went on a social media, I would say, rebuttal and rant. He did say he wanted to speak with the president, but she said she would rather speak behind closed doors, and Stephen A. wasn't having it. He said, you gave me the thumbs down in front of everybody, so let's speak on camera. So he goes on Sean Hannity. So here's what I'm told, Jay and Troy. This award is based on, it's supposedly something that happened transpired within the last year, all right? So the only thing I can put a finger on, because you go to a bunch of websites, they'll tell you his list of transgressions against the black folks, and the Jasmine Crockett thing was the most recent one, and the Florida's First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama. I want to specifically talk about. What he said about Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is that he basically said she shouldn't be as loud, and she needs to be trying to work with Trump, and she's trying to run for senator. She needs to act a certain way. Now, does Jasmine code switch mean, when I say code switch, that she based her vernacular or how she talks to people based on her audience? Yes, she does. I think a number of people do. But the only misstep that I would say with Stephen A. with that one, okay, you're offered an opinion, but you have to realize Trump ain't really working with this Congress. He does what he wants to, whether it's Republican or Democrat, and that's how Jasmine is. Jasmine persona, she's not going to be like other Democrats in the House and the Senate who are not going to go back and forth for Trump. If you say something about Jasmine, she gonna come back after you. She's chopped it up with Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's her, and I respect it, and that's the way she wants to go. But Stephen A. offered that opinion, and a lot of folks felt that he was out of line, and he did come back and apologize. That's why I have a lot of problems with Stephen A. Smith coming back and apologize. Now, he criticizes Kamala. He said that he regretted voting for her, and his example is the layup that Sonny Hostin gave him on The View with a softball question, and she messed it up. And he offered his opinion. Stephen A. is going outside the basketball arena, and so they didn't like that. And then the last one, Michelle Obama and her brother Craig Robinson, they have their own podcast, and Michelle talks about a number of things. One thing she said about Stephen A. in First Take is that she said it was a reality show. And then Stephen A., he clapped back and said, reality TV, that's scripted. This is not scripted. Stephen A. debate, he tells the people that's on the panel with Stephen A., he say, I don't care what side you take, you got to take a side when they debate. It's not scripted because they're talking about even though it might be trivial debating LeBron and Michael, they're debating. And then he came back and he said he didn't like the fact that Michelle basically told black folks that in her way that you should be voting for her. She don't understand how a black person, now don't quote me on it, but it was along the context of you should be voting for a black woman in the election. So Stephen A. said that. So based on that, the NABJ said his continued mischaracterizations and an attack on prominent black women, and they didn't like the stereo and the bad examples that it set. So that kind of upset Stephen A. But Stephen A's got to realize when you come outside that athletic arena and you're going into politics, I've seen Stephen A. say stuff that didn't make sense, but that's him. But I don't like what the NABJ has done because I remember, and I'm going to give y'all, give me 30 more seconds. I remember when the late Harry Reid and former President Joe Biden talked about Obama, saying he was clean cut and he's good. Articulate, yeah. Black folks didn't like that, but the Reverend Al Sharpton said, we ain't gonna judge a person about certain, that's a misstep. We're gonna look at their body of work, meaning he's gonna look at what Biden and Harry Reid has done. Well, this ain't the NABG saying that, but Stephen A. has done a lot. He's brought First Take to HBCUs. He's given guys like Cam Newton and Shannon Sharp, he's always bought, after Skip Bayless left, he's brought in a black person to be opposite him when he does his segments on First Take. I just don't, Stephen A., he's elevating this story more than they had to. Had he not responded or just said something quick, we would have moved on from it. But now he's digging in, and I just don't like what the NABJ did, and I don't like what Stephen A.'s response is.
Right.
Yeah, if I could, no, I think it's, I don't disagree with really anything you said. I think that, my first thought is the fact that the NABJ gives him this thumbs down award. Stephen A. is not happy. He's very vocal about it on Sean Hannity and other shows. And all he said is, hey, you put me out there. You make all these comments about me. I just want to have a conversation about you. You want to do it offline. To me, that's not really fair. You threw him under the bus. You have a chance now for you and Stephen to talk publicly. She didn't want to do that. So that's number one. Stephen A. has gotten beaten up. Folks claim that he has been uncharacteristically negative towards black women.
Right.
And I think you made a really good point, DL. You really have to look at his whole body of work. He's given many black folks an opportunity based on his First Take, guest on his radio show, on his TV show. So I think that's really an unfair comment about Stephen A. But the one thing that is interesting, and I was listening to D.L. Hughley, and D.L.'s comments, whether you agree with it or not, it's just, these are his thoughts, and I thought it was interesting because, again, there's a lot of pieces to this issue with the NABJ and Stephen A. Smith's comments and what they said about him. But D.L. said, listen, the first person that Stephen A. goes to really sort of air his grievances and talk about the issues is to Sean Hannity. Now, Trey and I were talking earlier, and Stephen A. and Sean are friends. I think the optics of it, though, are very interesting. The optics are Sean Hannity is very pro-MAGA and is very pro-Donald Trump. And Stephen A.'s first person he goes to, and listen, you can't say anything here. Sean Hannity, Fox News, they're by far have the biggest audience, 5 or 10 times what CNN or MSN Now, whatever they're called now, have. So he's getting a big audience. They're friends. But when you align yourself, the optics of Sean Hannity and Fox, and what Sean Hannity has aligned himself with with the birther thing with Obama, some very negative things about Obama and other Democrats. You sort of say to yourself, wait a second here. You just got a thumbs down by NABJ. they're saying you have an issue with black women, and now you go to a journalist, if you call Sean Hannity a journalist, who has had a history of negative comments toward black people and really toward a black president. Something is wrong with that. So I say this. I believe Stephen A. Listen, I'm a Stephen A. fan, and I think the comments made by the NABJ were unfair. You can say what you want about Jasmine Crockett, Michelle Obama. Those are, he can have opinions. What you're doing is you're pulling out 2 or 3 negative things about black women, but then you have a whole host of other positive things he said, and I think you really got to look at the whole picture. Those are my comments. Troy, it's your show. You take it.
Well, I would say, first of all, look, guys, I found that score. So Terry Sanford, 14.
Oh, that's important.
Terry Sanford, 14 at 71st, 59. Wow.
Oh, my God.
Westover, 13, Union Pines, 27. So that's going to end let me get St. Paul's in there. St. Paul's 28 and Pernell Sweat 6. So that's the end of my football scores. But look, let me share with this. My opinion is right here, first of all. There's a female that's over. Now, the NABJ, guys, that stands for the National Association of Black Journalists. Now, there is no way you're going to have any type of conservative anything about you, and that group is going to respect you. Let's be honest. Come on, is that not true, guys? I mean, you don't have to be a conservative, just have a conservative view about something, and they're going to give you thumbs down. That's the way it works.
Right.
And you just got to understand that. So what now?
Right, and when the NABJ went to interview Trump, they were actually very rude to the president.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And but Jay,
it was not a good look. So I agree with you there, Troy.
Let me jump back in. So why would he go to one of them? If he was on The View, if he was on anything, they were going to, first of all, they talk over you, they ask you a question, and then they answer it for you. And so, they're going to bring a lot of emotion to the table. You see what I'm saying? And that's the way it goes. So, that's Mean Girls 2.0. I can relate to what Stephen A. is dealing with, because if you don't agree with these people, and they can come to your house and act up, and you correct them, and they're going to attack you. That's the way it works. So now he went to Sean Hannity. I just that came up on my social feed, and I watched the whole thing, and basically he was just saying, look, I'm coming to you because Sean invited him, but he said, I'm coming to you because we've been friends. He said, we've been friends for a long time. So who wouldn't go to their friend? And I don't care about the opposite, Jay. If I have a friend that is a friend, I'm not going to not deal with that friend because I think it looks a certain way. Just think about that. You know what I mean? I mean, so you're going to do that. You're going to disregard a friend because the people that don't even like you are going to have a negative opinion about it? That's a question, Jay. I mean, would you do that?
Well, you can.
Hey, hold on a second, Troy.
Okay.
Hold on a second, Jay.
You go, and then I want to go.
Yeah, and this is my last point. And because you mentioned D.R. Hughley a lot, I don't have respect for him anyway, because some of the people that he's disrespected on his show. Winston Earl, who ran for the Virginia governorship, and she lost, a black female Republican, he said some of the nastiest things about her.
Right.
Like Stephen A. said, if he was dogging out conservative black women, they wouldn't have a problem. If it had been somebody like, because he's shown he disrespect Winston Earl. I've heard him disrespect Condoleezza Rice and others before. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
Okay, and that's important. Can I just add? First of all, Stephen A. Smith is the biggest name on ESPN, but he's also an entertainer. He is, Stephen A. is an entertainer, and he also has a huge audience. Conservatives, liberals, white, black, the whole spectrum. But I do think, and I understand what you said, Troy, that they're good friends. I get it. But I do think considering the issue that he just came away from with NABJ, that the optics do matter. And it does send a message when you just were getting beaten up about talking smack about black women, then you go on to Sean Hannity, and let's tell you, his history is not great, but I understand that the friendship optics are important. Any way you look at it, you can say what you want, optics are important.
Sure.
That's my 2 cents. I hear you,
I agree with you, but I tell you what, I'm not going to dish a friend of mine. I don't care what the opinion of that person is. If they mean enough to me in my life to be my friend, and we are truly friends, I don't care what people think about me dealing with them. I'm not. I mean, I'm just telling where I'm coming from, you know? I mean, I'm not going to allow someone that they don't care about me, the other folk, you know what I mean? And so, now, mind you, that's the whole narrative right now, bro. People are trying to tell people who they can talk to and who they can be around.
Yeah, true.
And now the rest of y'all can roll with that. I'm not gonna roll with that. I'm just saying that's not gonna work for me. And you know, hey, look, I deal with who I want to deal with. I'm an adult, and so now this whole thing. This is another piece, because we got a couple minutes. We'll come back after the break and deal with our other stuff. But look, Oprah says, well, I'm talking about Oprah Winfrey. I'm not going to talk to Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil anymore, because
I saw that.
They are friends and they like Donald Trump. I mean, so the world is becoming that. I mean, that is totally emotional female stuff. How you going to tell somebody who they can't talk to? I mean, you know what I mean? Or in other words, you're not going to be my friend because you're friends with so-and-so. Now, last time I checked, that sounds like 8th grade Mean Girl stuff. I'm just telling you, that's what it looks like to me. You know, how can I tell somebody else who can and cannot be their friend? Come on.
Well, I mean, I think I read Oprah. I mean, I saw her comments, and someone was beating her up. They're saying, "How dare you, start shows?" Because really, it was Oprah that got Dr. Oz nationally known and Dr. Phil nationally known. So they're saying because she got them successful careers, and it was because of Oprah, not because of them. She had the. So what people were saying is, how dare you do that? Well, what she said, part of her comment was, well, wait a second, I have nothing to do with their careers. You know, once this is, 30 years into their friendship, and they decide to align with Trump, that's not her problem. She shouldn't get dinged for that. And I think there were people in the Oprah world that were saying, Oprah, my God, how dare you do that? That's ridiculous.
Because that's what they do.
They can do whatever they do. Well, I know, but that is ridiculous to ding her because of Dr. Phil and Oz's stances and their relationship with Trump. To ding her, I think it's ridiculous. So that's just my 2 cents.
But that's what I'm talking about. Dear, we got about a minute before the break. Dear, if you want to chime in. But I'm saying, that's my point, though. I'm just saying is that, so you're going to tell me who I can and can't talk to, who I can and cannot have lunch with, or whatever. You know what I mean? And now, that may work for somebody else, but they can do all they want. You can act as nasty as you want to act. It's not going to affect Troy. I'm telling you right now, because I don't care.
Yeah, well, you have a good attitude. It is a cancel culture we have out there now. If you are a liberal and all of a sudden you agree with anyone on the right, you're canceled.
That's what I'm saying.
People are like, wait a second, and there's something wrong with that. That is a problem with me.
Right. Dear, 30 seconds before the top of the hour. Go ahead. I mean, for the mid-hour. Go ahead.
No, I think you touched on it enough. It won't be the end of it. But Stephen A. got to realize, you're a journalist. Stop apologizing if you're giving your honest take. You don't apologize for your honest take.
That's right. Well, look, we're going to a break. We're going to be right back. And more of talking about some local things here, city government. Jay can really talk about this because he was an assistant city manager talking about lawsuits and all this other stuff, and what's going on in Spring Lake, what's going on with our local board of elections. We'll be back for more following this.
At Fayetteville State University, you will do something you thought you could never do. And never say never again. With NC Promise $500 per semester tuition, dare to see where you can go. Check out all your options, including our new cybersecurity program. Because tomorrow just can't wait. Fayetteville State University. Anything really can happen. Are you in?
Wait times at the North Carolina Division of Motor Vehicles across the state are down almost 90%. Governor Josh Stein provided an update on Thursday on the efforts to help improve customer experience at the NCDMV. The U.S. military says a charter aircraft carrying 8 people crashed at a remote radar site in western Alaska, killing all on board. Crash happened on Thursday near Cape Neuenheim, long-range radar site airport, approximately 450 miles west of Anchorage. Meanwhile, the premier of Canada's Manitoba province has launched a blistering attack on President Donald Trump and the trade war. The North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission is still working to capture the bear that injured a Buncombe County resident on Tuesday, August 18th, after entering a North Asheville home. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. The Fayetteville Fire Department says the Special Olympics Committee wants to invite you, your family, and friends to join them for the first motorcycle ride benefiting the Special Olympics of North Carolina. It is Saturday, September 12th. Whether you ride every weekend or you've just been looking for an excuse to get the bike out, it is a great opportunity to enjoy a ride while supporting the athletes of the Special Olympics of North Carolina. Registration is 9 until 10 o'clock in the morning. Kickstands are up at 10:30 a.m. The start and finish line is Fort Bragg, Harley-Davidson. Check out the North Street Park Splash Pad ribbon cutting. This is today, 10 o'clock in the morning on August 21st. Bring the whole family out for some fun in the sun as we celebrate this new community space. Pack your sunscreen and chairs for a fun, sun-filled morning in the park. Again, the ceremony begins at 10 o'clock this morning. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monticelli.
With the cold front moving into the area and stalling, showers and storms will be likely, especially later today, and temperatures won't be as hot. Some localized flooding and wind damage can't be ruled out. We'll stay a bit cooler with drier conditions by the end of the weekend. We're mostly cloudy this morning with temperatures in the 70s. Then showers and storms are likely by later today. Highs will reach the upper 80s to around 90. We'll only reach the mid to upper 80s Saturday. I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the NCN Weather Center.
In life's most difficult moments, you deserve compassion, dignity, and peace of mind. At Wiseman Mortuary, 431 Cumberland Street, we've been serving families with care and respect for generations. We're proud to announce our new location, Wiseman Mortuary of Garland, 65 North Belgrade Avenue, Garland, North Carolina. From traditional services to personalized tributes, we are here to guide you every step of the way with warm understanding and experience. Let us help you honor a life well lived. Wiseman Mortuary, where every life is celebrated and every family is cared for. Call us today at 910-483-7111 in Fayetteville or 910-529-1341 or visit wisemanmortuary.com to learn more. Wiseman Mortuary in Fayetteville and Garland, caring for families when it matters most.
I'm Charles Evans, your candidate for Cumberland County Board of Commissioners. As your commissioner at large, I worked very hard for you and led the effort to sue Comores for accountability for polluting our water. I led the effort to have expungement clinics, and to this date, over 1,000 citizens of nonviolent crime live a life of freedom. My responsibility to you is to make your life better. I work hard for you. For bold and intentional leadership, vote Charles Evans for Cumberland County Commissioner at Large. Paid for by the committee to elect Charles Evans.
Your health matters, and Cape Fear Valley Health is here to help. Join us at the Emoja Festival Saturday, August 29th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Smith Recreation Center at Seabrook Park in Fayetteville for free adult health screenings. No appointment is necessary. Just stop by while enjoying the festival. Our team will provide screenings and health tips to help you stay healthy and informed. That's Saturday, August 29th, 10 to 1 at Smith Recreation Center at Seabrook Park in Fayetteville. Free screenings. No appointment is needed. See you there.
This is TJ the DJ. Be sure to tune in to My Mommy on Saturdays at 8 p.m. for Inspirational Vibes Top 8 Countdown, where she plays top 8 songs from her personal playlist, plus the Double Play Artist of the Week, Soul Archive, and Refreshing Hit. Saturdays at 8 p.m. and replays Sundays at 11 p.m. Inspirational Vibes Top 8 Countdown with My Mommy, Tamika Bright.
If you can no longer work because of illness or injury, you should be collecting Social Security disability insurance benefits. Call Brent Adams now for a free consultation. Don't give up just because you've been turned down. Brent Adams has helped thousands collect full disability benefits even after they've been turned down. Call now, 910-888-8888. Don't hesitate. Call 8. At Brent Adams & Associates, we make things right.
And we're back now, 36 minutes before the top of the hour here, and we have Jay and DL. DL, I'm going to let Jay lead into this situation that is at the Fayetteville Police Department. There are people that are saying, well, we hired this new assistant chief, and he's out of Chicago. I would agree, Jay and I were talking earlier, that's somewhat uncharacteristic to hire at that level and go that far to get someone. However, the question is, which has made the news, is that, well, this guy's name is inside of lawsuits. And I was sharing with Jay, I don't know, but I believe that it needs to have context. Because I've been in law enforcement, I know how it works. You can, on the drug squad, if one person did something, everybody got sued, the whole group, if you were with them, you know what I mean? And if you're in the hierarchy of leadership or supervision, you can be sued too, and you could be home in your bed and be sued, and didn't have anything to do with it personally. Am I right about that, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm not that familiar with this case. I did read that they brought in an individual very experienced, I think 25 plus years, from the city of Chicago, one of the largest cities in the country. And it was interesting because I think, as you said, when you have a city as large as Chicago and they've had their problems with crime over the years, there's going to be lawsuits. And, you know, if your name is attached to a lawsuit, I think it's very important. As you said, there's got to be context. You know, was he directly involved? Was his name one of, 20 litigants or defendants in a specific case? And what was the case about? So I don't have the details, but what I do know is it's important for folks not to jump to conclusions and look at the details and look at the facts and the context and how this person may have touched any of these cases. So for me, it's sort of a nothing burger until you get more facts. And oftentimes people hear lawsuit, immediately they think the person is guilty. Right. They've done something wrong. And there's usually a lot more to it. I mean, DL, you were in law enforcement for years, the two of you, Troy too. People, I think, citizens who are not as well versed to easily jump to conclusions. Oh my God, we're hiring someone in police. There have been a lot of lawsuits against him. Is this the person we want? No. There's a lot more to a story, and I think that people need to wait for the details before they jump to conclusions. That would be my thought.
Yeah.
So, Chief Bryant, I remember when he was hired, I was on military leave. I think he was hired between 2018 and 2020. Here's my thing. He was, what's the former chief that was there that hired him? Gina Hawkins.
Right.
She hired him for a high-level position as a major. He came in. He didn't come in. He came in as a major, which is a high-ranking position.
Because he was
so
DEA.
This is not new. Yeah. So
Right.
she brought him in, and so it's kind of changed in law enforcement where you can always get a police chief in-house or you can hire one nationwide. Generally, though, those people under the chief in Fayetteville, traditionally, those have been people in-house. But Gina Hawkins started going outside. Now, Chief Hansen did bring some folks along when he got hired. He brought in Brad Chandler, but he didn't start off as a high-ranking captain. I know he came in and made sergeant soon, and then he ascended all the way up to assistant chief. So Chief Bryant brought in who he felt comfortable with and who could do the job. This new assistant chief is not going to be on the road making arrests, doing traffic stops. So we don't have to worry about that. I'm going to trust the chief, and I know he had to brief the city manager, and the city manager definitely had to talk to his 10 bosses and let them know, hey, this is a good hire. So, yeah, that's all I have to say on it.
Sure.
Yeah, I think the only risk you have bringing someone from the outside potentially can be morale. You know, if you had people in the pipeline that were very qualified, and then you go outside and you take someone from the outside, morale can be an issue, but I don't know if it is in this case, and I think you got to give the guy an opportunity. Sounds like he's got incredible experience.
Yeah, well, you know, I did look it up, Jay. According to what I was able to find, Chicago typically handles about 100 police misconduct lawsuits a year. That's about 2 a week.
A lot.
So, but, you know, it's a large plate. And again, like I'm saying, is that with his rank, unless this is something that happened a long time ago, I just wonder, does his name show up in a lawsuit because he was in a supervisory line above somebody to do something wrong? Or are they personally accusing him of doing something wrong? That's just the whole thing, my thing. And because some people, and I was talking to someone, they were, oh, you know, his name showed up in this lawsuit. I said, calm down. You know, because we get all emotional about this stuff when there needs to be some context to it. And I don't think that we need to just go after people and destroy them and not have context. I mean, that's just...
I agree.
That's not right, you know.
Can I share it?
Right.
I'd like to share a very quick story when I was in the city of Durham. This is about 20-some years ago. And I was in the city manager's office in Durham, and we hired a company to recruit a new police chief.
Right.
Steve Chalmers was our acting chief, but they went through a process, and they hired this guy, Watkins, out of Kansas City. And I remember I went with the city manager to 3 cities to see our 3 finalists. One was in Kansas City, one was in, I don't remember the other cities. Anyway, we interviewed people in the community plus officers to get an idea of who these people were before we made the hiring decision, which I thought was a great idea. We hired this guy, Watkins. I think it was 3 hours before he was sworn in, we got word that he had 3 or 4 domestic abuse charges against him. Do you believe this? He ended up resigning that night before the swearing in. It was a huge, you could Google it, I'm sure. But what happened was it was so humiliating. The moral of the story was we actually talked to people in the department and people in the community, and no one shared that information with us. So here we are thinking we're going to get honest details from inside the department. They wanted to get rid of this guy, and we had a lot of, you talk about a mess. It was a disaster. So here we did all of our due diligence. It didn't work out for us. Just a story that was not a good one for us in Durham.
Well, I mean, here in Fayetteville, DL, you may remember this, there was something similar with that, with a finalist that had a domestic thing. But you know what? The only thing about that is that, look, let's say, you know, you have a spouse, male or female, but let's say you're the guy. And, you know, she 911's you, and you didn't put your hand on her. You see what I'm saying? But that goes that goes in the system, and now with that kind of job, you have a black mark against you. I mean, again, the same thing that I'm talking about before. It's like all this stuff needs to have context. But I think that if you are applying for a job, certainly what you need to do is to be transparent and bring that to the table and say, hey, look, man, I got this going on, I got that going on. Just be honest about it.
Yeah. I wanted to, I don't know if you want to talk about Spring Lake, but I did
Yeah,
want to
right. I
talk
do.
about that for a couple of minutes.
Sure.
I was very disappointed and actually shocked at the decision that the commissioners just made in Spring Lake. Now, there's a history at Spring Lake. Since Mayor Anthony's come on board, they've cleaned up a lot of stuff. They had, I think, $500,000. The former finance director, there was an embezzlement. There was issue with the police department. There's a whole host of stuff that I'm not going to bring up details on, but they had a lot of issues. And they've started to clean up the issues. Now, they just had a process to hire a new city manager. They fired the last city manager maybe 6-9 months ago, maybe a little bit longer. Totally qualified guy, and they bring in this guy by the last name of English. He was the interim. They just had a vote. It was 2 nights ago, maybe 3-2 to bring him on. It wasn't unanimous. Now, this guy was not only not ICMA accredited, that's International City Council Management Association accredited, which a city manager should have that accreditation. It's sort of the gold star for city managers. But he doesn't have any city management experience except for the last, 8 or 10 months he's been there. So here's my issue. What sense does it make to bring in someone that doesn't have the experience to lead an organization that has had so many troubles over the last 5 or 7 years, and they had someone else along with this interim that was another candidate who was ICMA certified and had experience. All I can say is a really bad look for Spring Lake, and I hate to say shame on them, but they had such an opportunity with all the good things happening to do this. To me, it's a black eye for the organization. You couldn't even vote unanimously for this candidate. I don't know this candidate. I'm only going by what I've read over the past 6 months. And I'm sure he's a nice guy, but you don't want a nice guy. You want someone with the qualifications to run a city, even a small city, and the salary is between $130,000 to $150,000, and this guy is not qualified. And I read the comments from, I just need to read these comments here, from one of the commissioners, and it said, Sona Cooper, who voted no on him, said, Mr. English is not qualified. He is not ICMA certified, nor does he qualify as a well-qualified manager, which is what Spring Lake needed. And I just think you're setting yourself up for more issues in the future if they hire a guy that doesn't have the qualifications. Sad story to me. That's all I have to say.
DL?
Yeah, I won't offer too much on it. Like you said, that certifications is a plus. And what city manager would want to go in this job not unanimously voted upon? Maybe he'll go in and say, hey, I'll show them that I can do the job and turn it around. Reminds me of Ray Rathburn back in the city when they fired John Smith.
I remember that.
And then they hired the guy out of the state. And then Malcolm McBride said as soon as the council takes seat, because they lost some folks, they needed to get some seats, they fired him the very next day. So, hey.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you. Spring Lake has just been, it's been horrific. It's at least the last 2 decades with, the police department, all this other stuff going on, and the credit card stuff, and losing, the state having to come in and handle their fiscal affairs. All of that is, that's public information. It's been in our face. So why they would do that, I do not know. I mean, I just make it make sense.
Yeah, that's the thing. They had a great opportunity. They got a sign off by the, who is it? Not the state, I guess the auditor. Yeah, the former auditor, and then this auditor sort of said, "Hey, things are looking better. We're going to sign off and take you out
right.
of being under the control of the state." And now you've done something that's sort of a slap in the face, in my opinion. But anyway, you wish him luck. You hope he does well, but don't feel so great about it.
Right. Anyway, so moving on, of course, data centers are still at the center of a lot of conversations, not just in Fayetteville and Cumberland County, but nationwide, as a matter of fact. I will say this, though, guys. Look, whether you like data centers or not, the world now is focused on data. So somebody has to handle all of that data in some way. And that's not going away. I mean, it's not decreasing, it's increasing. Even for young people that want jobs, that's where the jobs are. The six-figure jobs, and they're going to be increasing number of jobs in that area, how people handle data. Because it's the same thing. I mean, that thing that you're talking on now, there are a lot of people that don't have landlines. I don't have one in my home. For what? You know what I mean? People use their mobile phone. I mean, that's the way it works now. So I don't know what we need to do. And I believe we need to respect everybody's opinion, whether they like them or don't like them. But, the hostility doesn't make sense to me. City Hall, they need to be able to have a meeting and people not get all bent out of shape and lose their mind, have to be escorted out by the police and all this other stuff. That is not the kind of protesting or advocacy that we need.
Yeah, I totally agree. There was an interesting story. This woman in Kentucky, she was offered $26 million by one of these data center companies. And there were a lot of protests in the area. The farm has been in her family for not centuries, but a long time. And it's a very large property. And she said, listen, I heard what the people said. They don't want it. She's giving up $26 million. And in her opinion, she's doing the right thing. Now, if it were me, I'd taken that $26 million in a second. And I say, buy farm and so long, and take the money. But read it. It's really incredible. I saw her interviewed, and I think she's an honest person, and she wants to do the right thing. But I'm taking the $26 million.
That sounds like DL. He would not have taken that money. DL?
Come on, DL.
No, I'm taking the money, but on a serious note, I've noticed Raleigh, I think Raleigh, our elected folks in Raleigh, hasn't touched this issue, and I understand why. It's an election coming up. Now, the city's in their off year. But whether you like it or not, like you said, Troy, people are not doing in-face job interviews anymore. These flock cameras, everything is data driven. So what needs to happen, folks are going to take their emotion out of it and say, this is coming whether we like it or not. And we need to make regulations govern this thing. And we don't want less water, good drinking water for folks, and we don't want our utility bills to go up. It's going to happen, and folks need to come into this tent and get together. But it needs to start with the state. I'm disappointed in our elected folks. It needs to start with the state and say this is the way to go. I don't know why they have not intervened.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Cameras
I beg your pardon, what now?
Explain flock, because that's getting a lot of controversy.
Yeah.
Oh, flock cameras are, listen, I look at it like this. The law enforcement officers are the ones that's misusing them, running ex-wives and girlfriends and stuff, doing stuff like that. But flock cameras are important because guess what? If there's a shooting and your car was in that vicinity, it's going to lock in that plate information. It's going to help out a number of things. People lie about hit and runs. Well, I would sit over there and knowing they wouldn't know hit and runs. So now flocks are helpful if they're used right. When you don't have a lot of law enforcement officers on the street, you got these drones that can store data. It's another tool in the toolbox. I'm not concerned about somebody running my information because if my car is somewhere it ain't supposed to be, then that's on me. So I'm for the flock cameras.
Totally agree. You have these anarchists all over the country destroying the freaking cameras. They are going around destroying cameras. In Minnesota, I saw this big piece on it, and they're doing it in different parts of the country, destroying the cameras, and nothing's happening to them. It's outrageous to me.
Well, see, that's what I'm talking about.
Like you said, this is helping law enforcement.
Right. I mean, because, look, but not only that, you got 911 centers. You have hospitals. I was talking to this young lady, it was over a couple weeks ago. She's out of Durham. I mean, well, she was in Durham, but she's out of Maryland. And she was talking about how she's a surgeon. And they perform surgery, with robotics, but it's connected to data centers and all this other stuff. I mean, everything is so connected now. Again, I'm not trying to make a case for or against. I have a personal opinion about it, but I don't want some of these emotional people to lose their minds. The thing is, but we got to realize that things are the way they are. You know what I mean?
This is the way of the future.
Right. So, I mean, it's no need of, I can't have it that way. No, that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, why act like that?
I agree. I think what you said, DL, is right. When they're coming in, have these conversations about, maybe they pay for more of the electricity. Maybe they do something with the water costs. But these are coming. AI is the future. And these cities are, and like you said, Troy, these are high-paying jobs. I mean, the verdict is not out as far as I'm concerned yet, but I think you got to look at the entire picture, and you have, I think right now, the loudest voice are these people that are opposing them all over the country. And like you said, DL, it is an election issue. A lot of these politicians don't want to touch it.
Right. Well, look, guys, got about 3 minutes left here. So, final comments before we check out here. Friday, we got Heartbeat coming up at 10 and MP3 at 11. So what's going on, guys? We're getting out of here. It's been hot, man. What about that?
Yeah, it's been hot, but I just want to say for teachers, Cumberland County and Mecklenburg County, probably some of the last 2 school districts in North Carolina are heading back to school in the next 5 days. And just pray for the teachers because they're underpaid, and these parents send these kids back to these schools, and some of them disrespectful. Teachers, if I ever see you out somewhere, I'm paying for your lunch. I don't care who you are. You deserve it.
Thank you. I'll let my daughter know that. I'll make sure she sees you when she's at a very expensive restaurant. Thank you, DL, for that.
All right.
But I think to your point, I would just like to say, thank a teacher, thank a nurse. These are 2 professions that are so important in our society, and they don't get enough appreciation. So, thank them. Stay cool. It's still very hot out there, and I don't like the heat. So those are my comments, and thank you guys so much.
Sure, and also take out a talk show host, buy his lunch at Capitol Grill.
There you go, Capitol Grill. I think the 3 of us should go to Capitol Grill.
If you're paying.
Let's make that happen.
If I'm paying, we go to McDonald's.
Oh, you'll get your fillet of fish.
That's right. No cheese. Anyway,
the
look,
fillet
man.
of fish, no cheese.
I remember.
Yes, sir. Love you guys, and to all of you all out there, thank you all so much for tuning in with us and being with us on today. Have a great day. You're too blessed to be depressed, too anointed to be disappointed. Have a great one.